Yeah, I do think that it was a very good team effort today. We made the right calls. We remained calm, when it was sometimes a little bit hectic to make the right call. So yeah, very happy with that. I think at times in the race we didn't look the quickest, but yeah, we were there at the right time. So very happy with that. It's been a challenging weekend again for us, but to come out of it as a winner, of course, I take that.
Hey Lando, just how good was it to be fighting for the win again, even though I know ultimately you didn't quite have enough to get it today?
I mean, we did. We had the speed to win. Just I got unlucky with the safety car. I was leading by 15 seconds, and the safety cars screwed me over. But sometimes it's like that. And the same case, the safety car helped me in Miami. It helped me win a race. Today, it helped me lose the race. I think we would have won otherwise, but it's just the way of racing. Sometimes it's on your side, sometimes it's not. So it's always a tougher one to take when it's not on your side and you lose out like today.
Yeah, mixed emotions because I felt I made one too many mistakes out there. Maybe been a bit hard on myself because looking back, everybody made mistakes at some point in the race. And each have different consequences. I think, the pace was so strong at the end, but ultimately it was a mistake before that put me in P3, which allowed me to take the new tyre. So, you can argue maybe without the mistake, I'd have been in P2 on the hard tyre, and who knows what the pace would have been. So, in the end, so many positives to take away from this race.
It wasn't a positive race for me. It felt like one of my worst drives that I've had. Bits of good speed at some points, but ultimately, really poor weekend from myself. Obviously qualifying, put myself back there, and then I was stuck behind Fernando for a long time, as you would expect. And after that, lost a lot of ground, and lost another bunch of ground, and went off. But anyways, the positive is the car is progressing, is moving forward. So I think if I qualified the way I should have, I would have been competing for the win.
Yeah, I think just maybe a few things in the race where if we did things a little bit better, myself and the team, then we could have had a bit of a better result, or maybe a better chance of a better result. I think at the end we were a little bit vulnerable to the Mercedes on new tyres. And yeah, obviously being the second car in the team, or the first car that they're going to attack.
Yeah, fantastic. I think a race for the team. Obviously, scoring with both cars is always the target, and 6th and 7th is a good number of points. Extremely difficult race with the conditions. Majority of the race, the track was just 2 meters wide. You cannot put a tire outside of that dry line, so that is very, very stressful. And congratulations to everybody, because it was, I think, a difficult race in the cockpit.
Yeah, I think the track really suited us. We knew that coming into the weekend that this would be a good track for us, but it's good that we capitalized on it, and 6th and 7th, a lot of points for the team. It's we have to take advantage when we're in a points scoring position. The car's competitive, and today we did that.
A little bit of relief at the end to get back into the points. For a while we dropped out, and yeah, a few reasons. We had it was weird because I got told I had a 5-second penalty for a jump start, but I know I didn't jump the lights, so I was a bit confused. So I obviously questioned it, but then I remember I feel like when I was finding the revs for the start, I felt like maybe the car, because I'm watching the lights, but I felt maybe the car was moving. So Pierre said obviously we had a bit of an issue, so perhaps the clutch or something.
Yeah, very, very happy, especially after the pretty dramatic start. We had a small touch with Checo, and all of a sudden I was facing the wall on the inside, and all the cars passing next to me. So clearly not the ideal start. Almost dropped to last, and then after that I had a decent battle with him. Managed to get past him, and then what a race after that. Just very tricky. Had to make some pretty risky call with a hard tire, which I thought from the position we were in, if I wanted to recover, I had to take some risk. And looking back, it was a lap too early. But then inside the car, I knew if I don't do it now, then it's probably going to be too late and I won't get an advantage.
Yeah, not the happiest, to be honest. Obviously, we started last and got into the points with both cars, which is amazing for the team. But I did my part of the job. Being a team player, being the nice guy, but too nice I am. But I had to let Pierre go at the end, which I've done. I've always followed the instructions that I've been given, but for no reason really, because we were not going to catch Daniel. That was the reason for the call. And obviously I'm losing a point there. Being too nice is not the right attitude to have in Formula One, but I show that I'm a team player, and that's what matters.
Hey Nico, that was a heck of a cat-like response to Mr. Yuki Spin and Yuki Tsunoda. Kind of what went through your mind when you saw him sliding across the track in front of me?
Yeah, I mean, Code Brown probably. I don't know, I just tried to react and try to stop it and then somehow avoid him, but it must have been like, by a few millimeters. It felt very, very close. So I half closed my eyes already. I was, bracing for the impact, but managed luckily somehow to escape it.
Obviously the team gambled on the wets. That was the right thing to do in that early phase, and it kind of put you in a position to almost take points today. How do you kind of feel overall?
Yeah, I think obviously first 10 laps were going really well, but then it dried out and all that came undone again. So, but yeah, that was that. We knew we're not, about that risk or not risk about that scenario. And then, I think clean race, no mistakes at least.
Yeah, it didn't feel like we got the best out of it today. With all the opportunity that the race offered, we didn't seem to capitalize on that. So that's disappointing. But we'll review it and really try to understand it. Right now it's all a bit blurry, but there was lots of opportunity, that's for sure. We didn't get any points, so gotta look into things.
Obviously you had that slow stop, which obviously dropped you back after all that hard work. Do you think without that you would have maybe had it, or was it just ultimately the pace and wasn't enough to keep in?
We had one very slow and one just medium slow, and then I also think we pitted for inters off the full wets too early and had to take another inter, which felt unnecessary, but I have to look into it properly to make sure I'm right in saying that. But felt like there was something coming there in the beginning of the race, and nothing to show for it.
I think with the conditions we had today, it was probably the right thing to do, to try and do something, and I think it helped a bit to have a bit more downforce, but still. Yeah, we made progress, but mainly due to other cars making mistakes, etc. So pace-wise, we're still not in top 10 at the moment.
Hey Yuki, right up until the last couple of laps, you were driving such a strong race. Just talk me through that moment where you just ran off track and obviously lost the car.
Yeah, that was my fault. I was struggling quite a lot with the brake, quite early stages, but my mistake.
How tough is that to take, given the car has obviously been so strong this weekend and you were very much on chance to score points?
Yeah, such a stupid move, but it's what it is. It is what it is.
At the moment, I would just another tough race. Obviously, it didn't really kind of solve the issue, but it was quite a bit of going on. But for me, it was a bit of a lonely race, especially during the second stint, it was just kind of driving alone. So not the smoothest weekend, but we have something already planned in the factory to be checking. Obviously, this weekend I don't really have much confidence altogether with the car.
Yeah, not a lot of pace this weekend, not even in the inter tire. We expected maybe to be a bit stronger there, but a lot of sliding around and no feeling with the car. And once it dried out, we were starting to make some kind of progress. And I was also having to take quite a bit of risks, to stay in the DRS train and overtake. And I did a driver mistake, but not ideal, not our weekend for anyone in the team, and we'll try and reset and go again.
When I look at the race as a whole, it seemed like we didn't take much risk in our strategy, but we were making good calls the whole time. If you look at the Haas, they did a good gamble on the wets at the beginning of the race. You look at some of the guys that stayed out on the Inter, not pitting for a new one in the middle of the race. We kind of just did what we felt was right for us, and even if it didn't work out sometimes, we kept getting back the positions. We kept fighting back into the points, and I was enjoying it out there. Them kind of conditions, mixed conditions, there's a lot to play for, and I was having a lot of fun. And then 2 laps in a row, 2 drivers went off in the same corner. The first one I lost the position, I had to avoid the crash, and then the lap after Carlos obviously had his spin.
Honestly, there's not much more to say apart from the engine issue cost us everything. Then at one point we tried to go on the slicks when we knew it was going to be more chances that it wouldn't work, but we had to test something because anyway with the engine issues we had, we will have been out the points anyway. And that was it really. After that it was just extremely tricky to do all the engine changes that the team was asking me. At the same time I was still losing a second and a half per straight, so we've got to look into the engine issue because that's going to be tricky for the rest of the season.
No, just not good enough, too many mistakes, 2 very punishing ones, and for sure disappointed with myself after feeling like I was driving great this weekend, so move on and just look ahead.